Okay, hello world. Today, June 4th, 2025, here with Rick Sheney. He just flew his finals in the World Cup roller pigeon fly here for the North Rocky Mountain region. Again, congratulations, Rick, one more time making it to the finals. But you've done a lot, Rick. You've done a lot. I mean, you've placed first in the nation and third in the World Cup in what, 2019?
2019, yeah.
2019, and judged the World Cup 2005.
2005.
General coordinator
2010.
2010, and Hall of Famer. Am I right?
Yep.
Hall of Famer. Top stuff here with Rick Sheney, and that's Sheney, guys, not Schoening. Sheney like raining. So Rick flew this morning. We're going to mention that really quick before we learn more about Rick, but 10 minutes and he had 190 somewhat points. So his bird split up. He would have been totally up there. Anyway, congratulations again, Rick. And tell us about Rick. So when did you start off with your birds? Who really got you going with the bird?
My dad brought home a box of pigeons when I was about 5 years old for my older brother and myself, and put together a refurbished an old chicken coop, and in that box of pigeons there was a pair of rollers, a pair of homers, a pair of Chinese owls, and a pair of fantails. I was hooked with pigeons, and especially when I let them out, watch the rollers tumble. They were just flippers, but hey. And so yeah, I've had them. I'm a lifer. I've had them my whole life, and I've never been without them. When I was at the school, University of Montana, my freshman year, I had to live in the dorms. So my dad kept the birds for me then. But other than that, I've always had the birds with me.
Nice. You grew up in
Northern Illinois.
Illinois.
Yeah.
Moved over to Montana now. The family of birds that you've had in the last 10, 15 years, are they pretty much the same family?
Yep. I've created this group starting in about 1983. And so yeah, they're 40 years old, and I've added an odd bird here and there, and yeah, what you see is what
Go
you get.
back to
Started with Ollie Harris pigeons, and then brought in Barry Shackleton birds, added one Les Plaisance pigeon, and then in 2014 I added an Eric Laidler pigeon, and in 2018 I got my hands on a Bill O'Callahan hen. And so I'm kind of working that a little bit now with that.
good.
Yep. But they're all English backgrounds, There's no Pensum pigeons really in them. And I used to fly birds from Hugo Boss in the 70s. And in 1982, I had a fire burn down my stock loft. So I had to start over. And it just so worked out that Dale Guttormson up in Canada, in Saskatchewan, was the guy quarantining the birds for Joe Keyser and Joe Borges that they imported from Ollie Harris. So I was able to get 3 squeakers from him.
Nice.
And that's what's behind these pigeons to this day. Yeah.
Some top people you mentioned there from England that you got your birds from. So the family of birds that you have now, have you found in the last however long, what does it take for them? Does it take anything special to bring them into? Do you fly throughout the winter, first of all?
Yep, we're able to fly year round here,
Okay.
And but the month of December is when I fly away pigeons because of fog, inversions. We get these valley inversions here that'll come in, and all of a sudden they'll just roll in, and your birds are up. You lost them. And I write down in my books, quit flying in December, because that's when I lose pigeons. And not so much to raptors, but to losses because of the weather. And so anyway, other than that, we're able to fly year round, and I do. I'm addicted to roll. I have to see it, and so I fly here.
Yeah. What kind of preparation, whether it's feed wise or fly times? The amount of times you fly.
Well, it's interesting. I always do pretty good in the regional. So I take birds that have been in really good shape physically, and then I start to whip them into shape by flying them every day, cutting back feed, getting everybody lean and mean, and it usually does really well for me in the regional. And then doing it all over again in a month or less, I haven't done well, you know, and I know it's because I try to maintain them at that level, and it backfires. You know, like today, it was hormones. You know, the cockbirds just they drove down some hens, and yeah, that's what happened today. I mean, that's the problem with flying a mixed sex kit this time of year. And this is the first time since 1991, I've been flying every year in the World Cup, that I've had a kit split up. I just dumbfounded.
Is there something you would recommend or some advice you would give to whether it's a newcomer or somebody just trying to come along and out there in the roller?
With regards to flying or just getting going with pigeons?
Getting going with pigeons.
I would say find out who flies pigeons rollers in your area. Then go to them and watch how they do it, watch their birds, and acquire pigeons from them, as opposed to buying them from some big name or whatever. That you need to get birds from a guy that developed them in the same area you're in my opinion. And that way he can mentor you, and if you have questions about what's going on with the birds, he's right there. He's local, you know. So that's my recommendations to a new guy. Yeah.
And then one last question: is there that mentor or somebody that comes to mind when you're like, man, I just wouldn't be doing this, or if it wasn't for such and such?
You know, it's interesting. When I was a young man, probably 9, 10 years old, there was a fellow in my hometown of Rockford, Illinois. His name was Jack Clark, and he was the president of the Northern Illinois Pigeons Association. And he showed Chinese owls. He was a national champ winner on the Chinese owls, but he also had rollers. And so he's the one that I kind of looked up to. I'd go over there and help him clean the lofts, and he would never give me a pigeon. He'd always make me pay for it. Because he told me, he said, if I give you a pigeon, you won't care for it as much as you would if you had to pay for it. And only $1, but it was
something.
And so he took me down to the big shows they had in Byron, Illinois, with the club, and he would be my mentor, Jack Clark.
Nice.
And so I had a group of birds from him until about 1975. So about 66 to 75, I flew those birds from him. Turns out they were all Paul Vaughn, Carl Sylvie birds.
Oh, yeah.
That's what they were background,
Nice.
And
Good deal.
but anyway, he would be the guy, Jack Clark. And
Rick, you do a lot of things for people all over as far as sharing your birds, and donating to auctions and wherever you can. Sometimes to a fault, because you'll give away your best birds, and that's pretty cool of you, all the way to say it.
it's just, it's part of the hobby for me. Is an important part of the hobby is to help other people, give them the building blocks, and either they can figure it out or they can't. I mean, my pigeons aren't for everybody, and they're strong, raw bone, high flying, long flying pigeons, and they're not really for competition. They're for blowing your mind when they roll. That's why I got them.
I've seen that. Nice deep birds here. Well, Rick, the qualifiers this year, old Dwayne provided everybody with these awesome looking coins, huh?
Challenge coin.
Challenge coin.
Thank you,
And by
Dwayne.
the way,
Thank you.
Challenge coin. With that being said, all qualifiers, if you do not carry your coins and you get challenged
By another qualifier.
by another qualifier and they have theirs, what do they need to do?
You got to buy the drink.
You got to buy them a drink.
Yep.
There you have it. It's on here. I know everybody's going to be watching this interview.
At the
with
convention,
Rick
you
Sheney.
better have your challenge coin,
There
boys.
you have it. All right. All right. Thanks again.
You bet,
Congratulations,
Dan.
buddy.
Thanks for judging.
Yes,
I
sir.
know what it takes.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Looking forward to some more.
Okay. Got it?
Yep.
All right. Thanks,
Do I?
Rich.
I don't touch anything. It's still
You
recording.
stopped it. Oh, it's still recording. Okay.